video, we're going to bootstrap our application. And bootstrapping is just a fancy way of saying that we'll set it up and get it ready for development. And pretty much every front-end project you embark on nowadays has this step. And it typically includes things like creating the project, installing all the dependencies, initializing a brand new Git repository, adding some files to our gitignore file so they're not tracked under version control, committing our files, and then taking it all for a test drive. This video assumes that you have Node, npm, or sometimes called the Node Package Manager, and Git installed. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by opening up my terminal, and I will change the directory to the directory where I want my code to live. And I'm going to install vue-cli globally. And the -g flag there stands for globally. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to check that I have Vue installed globally, just to make sure that everything worked all right, and it did. So I have vue-cli version 2.3.1 installed. Next, I will initialize my new project using vue init webpack-simple-2.0, and then I'm going to give it the name of my project. And I'm calling this one the Vue map dragger. And let's go ahead and go through these prompts. There we go. And we should see a new folder created called the Vue map dragger. And there it is. So let's go ahead and get into that directory. And we're going to run an npm install. And what this does is it looks at the dependencies within our package.json, these ones here, and basically pulls those down from npm and throws them into our node modules directory. So let's go ahead and run that. Next, I'm going to initialize my brand new Git repository, and I'll do that by running git init. And if this worked correctly, I should be able to see a .git folder at the top level of my directory, which I do. Okay, I'm going to add the folder called Bower Components to my gitignore, and I know that I'm going to be using Bower in this project because as the title states, there's a jQuery plugin, which is one of our dependencies. So I'm going to use what's called the right shift operator to add the Bower Components directory to my gitignore. And if I echo out the contents of my gitignore, I will see that Bower Components has been appended. And these other gitignore entries were the boilerplate that vue-cli gave me. Okay, next, let's go ahead and open up Atom, and we'll make some modifications to our package.json. So I don't want to use the hot reloader because it doesn't work very well with this project, but I do want to bind to 0000, which is the IP address of my machine. And when I bind to this specific IP address, it allows me to view my Webpack server, which we'll learn more about in a little bit. But it allows me to view my server at the IP address of my computer. So for example, if my IP address is 192.168.1.147, then I could access the server running on port 8080 from, for example, my iPad. Next, we'll add all of our files to Git by running git add dot, and the dot just simply means add everything. We'll quickly do a git status and see that all of the main files of our project are now under source control. And let's go ahead and commit them. Okay, and then the last step in the process is to make sure that everything is working as intended. So let's go ahead and type in npm run dev. And whenever we type in npm run, we're basically telling npm to look inside of the scripts folder within our package.json and look for a command with that name. So we have a command, or actually Vue.cli created a command for us called dev, and that just spins up a little webpack server that is serving our app. So let's go ahead and run npm run dev, and now we have our little server running on port 8080. Let's check that out. There we go, our brand new Vue 2.0 project.